Hey traders, this is Skills of Trading coming to you on Monday evening, June the 13th, with a primer on covered calls and when you might use same in your trading. There are a number of scenarios where a trader might decide to trade covered calls. One would be in an IRA, perhaps, where you have shares of stock and you would like to make extra income on those shares. So for every 100 shares you have, you can sell a covered call against the same. So if you have 1,000 shares, you could sell 10 covered calls, or 10 times 100 shares each, for 1,000 shares. Okay. The other case might be where you have a position that you got into, and the trade broke down, and now you want to repair that position. You like the company, and you're not prepared to take a loss, and it dropped from 27 down to 24 at the open. Okay, so let's look at the latter situation first. I had a trader come to me on Friday and told me that diodes had dropped at the open on a downgrade, I believe, and he was in this trade for 600 shares. We're just going to leave it at 1,000 to make it easy to calculate. So he has 1,000 shares of diodes now that are $3 underwater, $3,000. So this is what I told him to do. One scenario would be to turn around and sell the July or September, I don't believe they had August, calls on diodes. Checking, I can see that we only have Septembers and Julys. Okay, so I told him to look at the Julys or the September calls to sell. So that's what he looked at. Okay, so let's take this up. Let's take it up to 1,000 shares. So with Options Express, it'll already do this calculation for you, and you can see that the last trade of the day was at $1.50. Okay. So that would be $1,500 in premium if he sold 10 covered calls at the price of $1.50. Okay? And note the strike price of 25. This is the strategy. Okay, being this trader is down $3,000, it would take him 2 trades to break even, basically, to get back where he was on Thursday. You could also look at this as bringing down your cost average for your shares. So it would take him 2 trades at $1,500 each to bring his cost average down to the current price of 24. Well, we dropped today on Monday. You can see we had a spike down. Okay, so this is where he got in. Looking at the 15-minute, he bought or sold these covered calls on this candle right here. I believe he said he got $1.50 for his covered calls. So if he sold 10, he would have netted $1,600. Now the idea is, because he's trading the 25 calls, we're looking at this. This is a strategy. We're looking at this gap down as resistance. We're looking at the 100 EMA as resistance on the 15-minute. And we're looking at the other EMAs. The 50 is right here. Okay? And we have the open price level. So that level is roughly 25 to 24.80. So the 25 area. Okay? He's trading the strikes, the 25 Septembers. Switching to the 30-minute, we can see our resistance levels are the 50 period moving average. We're at the 20, so the 50 is the next line in the sand. 26 is the 100 EMA, 100 period moving average. The hourly, the 20 moving average is just above 24, at around 24.10, 24.20. And again, we keep seeing the gap area at 25. So the daily, we can see very clearly where that gap level is. Okay, so we feel pretty confident that we're not going to hit 25 while we're trying to do this trade. So going back to the 15-minute, our strategy would be to sell the covered calls and on the move down, the idea is to buy options back to cover that position. So it would be buy to close 10 September 25 calls. Okay, and we want to get those back lower than what we sold them for. Okay, so the 1600, we would buy them back at around 1000. And to attempt to trade intraday, sell at the high, and buy back at the low. With FT&T, I've been trading covered calls on this since I got into this trade a few days ago. So I've been scalping these covered calls because I got into the shares at 24 and I wanted to get my cost average down. So I did this a couple of times. Basically, we're in a channel, or it's a sideways range that I'm trading the upper and lower levels of this Bollinger Band. Okay, so I'm trading the upper band, selling my covered calls, waiting for the retrace to the lower Bollinger Band, and buying them back at a discount to where I sold them during the day. Okay, and I did that twice today. So that's a basic scenario on how I trade covered calls from time to time to repair a position that may not be that far out of the money where I purchased the shares in the case of Common, or in the case of a trader that I was helping. I was trying to repair a position that he had that was down 3 to 4 points on the shares that he was holding. Okay, this is Cousin Vinny coming to you from Day Trading Radio with a basic primer on how to use covered calls to make extra money, extra premium with your trades, and also how to repair a position that you got into and now you're over your head. Okay? Take care, remember to take profits, and we'll talk to you soon.